if the neuropathy patient doesn't follow their diet and food management plan, well, first they have to understand what's causing their neuropathy.
Yeah.
If it's diabetes and they're not quitting the sugar intake, I mean, we get a confirmation, right? Like when we're in there, I'm asking them, okay, I'll say, Madison, are there any foods that you're eating right now that you know you shouldn't be, that you cannot give up if you start this program? And I'll tell them, because if you can't verbally tell me that you're going to give that up, we do not start. We do not start. Because I am setting yourself and myself for failure. And I asked them, I said, can you give it up? Now I got to tell you, we've had patients who, two I can think of, they were both alcohol-induced neuropathy, okay? One of them owns a winery, okay? And he says, I can't give it up. I can't. I said, you can't taste it and spit it out? He says, I can't. I've had wine all my life. And we narrowed it down to that's what it is. It wasn't the diabetes. It wasn't anything. He drinks 2 glasses a day minimum. And I said, that's it. That's it. And he even says, after I drink for about 2 hours later, I feel it more burning, like it burns worse. And I said, you can't give that up. I said, there's nothing I can do. We didn't even go take a test. I took a thermal imaging and I said, yeah, you have neuropathy. But he says, I can't give up alcohol. I said, then there's no point for me to do a test. I said, when you are ready to give it up on what's causing this, I'm not going to start you on a program knowing that you're going to keep drinking, right? Because we're all going to fail. The second person, also from alcohol, was because the alcohol was her social life. She told me she would give it up. She says, yes, Dr. Tiam, it's hurting so bad. I'll give it up and I'll just have a ginger ale, right? Something non-alcoholic, right? But her thing wasn't the sugar, it was the alcohol. She got better after 3 months. 3 months after that, she was better. She messed up after that second test. So then by the 6-month mark, she went back and it reversed, right? And she went back to drinking. And she says, you know, Dr. I'm so sorry, da da da. I said, don't be sorry to me. I said, I'm more disappointed. You should be sorry and disappointed in you, right? I said, you got to make this shift. And hopefully she has. But the diabetes one, I mean, imagine someone went back into eating syrup and pancakes. What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, we can only help so much here in the office with being able to give them the devices that they need, be able to do in-house therapies if they need, but it's a 2-part here. We can't help them do it all. They've got to be able to do their part for them to fully succeed here, because neuropathy is it's a long process, longer than most people would think. It's to reverse it. Luckily, we can reverse it, but it's not an overnight thing. It's not a short little thing. I mean, it's going to take some time, and it's going to take them doing everything that they can and us doing everything that we can. And if we're not going on the same levels here, I mean, we're not going to go forward. It's just going to be at a halt or fall backwards.
And I think that people need to understand, even though they started feeling neuropathy symptoms like a few months ago, it's been building up for years. You do not get neuropathy after being pre-diabetic for just 6 months. Okay, it's not going to happen that quick. You've probably been pre-diabetic or diabetic for years, and then it showed up for 5 months, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really bad, but I've only had it for a few months. Shouldn't it just go away? No, you've been building up to it for a long time already. But that's what will happen if people don't make a shift.